City Chiefs are now up.
My leaning is to Percy Snow because I feel like he can come in and do it right away. And when I say do it right away, come in and be a starter right away, I think he's going to be a damn good player, brings toughness to your defense, and all those different things that we've already seen.
Where do you think he would start? Fourth, fifth game?
I would think that would be the latest.
I talk all day, man.
We should know in a couple of minutes. There's about 2 minutes left.
Bill, listen, Marty. We're getting ready to go on this thing. What is your thought about the third?
We don't want to give up the third.
Would you be interested in flipping second-round picks? You've got the 36. We have the 40th. Note that you don't have a fifth round, and we've got two.
I mean, if we got 2 5s, throw him a 6.
The best we could do is the seventh.
The problem is you lose the 7th.
We don't have an 8.
Well, I want to sweeten it with a ninth.
Throw him a 5th.
No, don't do that.
No. Okay.
Tried to move down, tried to move up. Nobody wants to do anything, so we're holding. We have a pat hand, as you say.
Oh, did they? Yeah. No. That better. Oh, defensive lineman. Seem to give it Jimmy Johnson again like that. The Giants. He wants to sweeten it some with another pick. If we switch, okay. In other words, if we go with the 21st, to give him 13th, and then we get the 26th. So we get the 21st and the 26th.
Right. That means we get 2 number 1 draft choices. All right. We're going to flop 1s with Dallas. We're going to get flop 2s with Dallas. The problem is you lose the 7th. I frankly prefer the other deal, where we're going to get one of those 5 guys and get a 4th.
Jim, I think we got a better deal on the other phone. All right? Thank you very much. Okay. Right up.
See to get me Tom Brotz on the phone.
I got no problem with that trace right there at all.
Neither do I.
I mean,
The numbers, that to me is always, that's your safety net. Is to always go back and look at the board. Hey.
I've got Tom Bratton on the
Do
phone.
you? Okay.
No, none whatsoever.
Tom? Hi, Carl. See anybody you like there on our pick?
Not worth moving up for at this point.
Not worth moving up.
What are you interested in?
Well, we want another, second pick. We're gonna.
We would do it for 2. We might do it for 4.
How about a third? We don't have a third.
I think the only deal worthwhile is a 4th, and if Whitey doesn't feel good about it, let's take the guy that we had ranked 4th on the board and go do it. The hell with it.
Why do you don't feel good about the 4th?
No, I don't.
Okay. I'll tell you, we're gonna go ahead and pick our guy. We just, if you go with a third, we do it. We really need a third.
Yeah.
All right, good. Okay, thanks.
Percy Snow, Michigan State. That's our guy.
I got that one right on that sheet.
Percy Snow, inside linebacker for Michigan State.
The Kansas City Chiefs select Percy Snow, linebacker, Michigan State.
It's a good pick.
I got no problem, Whitey.
I agree.
Hey, I got no problem. We did well.
Let's look at the
You know the board.
Yeah.
That's Bill Baker, the Chiefs again.
Hey, congratulations. Hold on. This is Carl Peterson, our president.
Percy, remember me? We worked you out. How you doing? Good. Congratulations. I'm going to put on Coach Schottenheimer in a minute, but we're very excited about having you part of our football team. You know you're coming into a great defense, and but we think you can help us and help us right away. You're gonna be ready, right?
He was ready. That's fascinating. Fascinating look. And there are some pretty good people at drafting, and Carl Peterson and Marty Schottenheimer right in there. Carl, and talking to Carl this week, he said, boy, I remember our first pick that we had, Marty and I, we had the 4th overall selection. It was Derek Thomas. Before we even made the pick, I looked Marty in the eye and he said, if we ever pick this high again, we won't be around to see how well our pick does.
That's right.
And they are not picking very high anymore. This year, they went with Harvey Williams, running back from LSU, number 21.
So I'm pissed off. I'm mad because everybody's mad. So I'm sitting there waiting for Marty to walk in. So all of a sudden I'm looking this way, and then something go pow, and the whole side of my face, like went black. Like I could only see. He walked up behind me and slapped me, bro. And I turned around and looked back like this, and he was eating grapes. And he looked at me. He said, "Bitch, what you gonna do?" And he's eating his grape, and he took this grape and he threw it and hit me in the. As I'm turning around looking at him, it hit me like in my chest. And the whole football team was sitting looking like, "What the fuck is you gonna do?" Man, I turned around and so he's walking up the stairs, and it's the desk where you ever sit. I jumped up on the desk and ran. I'm jumping on the desk, running up to where he was at. So as he's still going, I started jumping off the desk, and when I got off the last desk, I jumped down. He turned around and he looked at me like, I don't know if this dude think I wasn't gonna hit him, but he sat there like this. And right when I jumped off the last table, man, I bam hit him right in his chin. This motherfucker didn't even move. And when I surprised, and it opened his bottom of his chin up, and then and Percy bench pressed like 600 pounds. Man, this dude grabbed me, and he started running. So we running back down the back down because we going up. And something said, dude, if this dude get on top of you, he gonna kill you. Because there's no way and I'm strong, but it's no way, he's up and pushing me down. So I'm bagging, so I'm getting ready to fall, and right at the last minute, I put my foot in the ground and turned and picked him up. And then I landed on top, and now I'm on top of him and I'm just going crazy in the whole football team. And I said to myself, you better let this shit look good, dog, because everybody watch. So I ain't crying, but I'm cussing him, and I'm whooping his ass, and I'm saying to my God, please somebody pull me off this, because he started almost picking me up off the ground. So as he was picking me up, I kicked him. His face is all messed up. So he's coming behind me again. As they trying to, the whole football team trying to get me out of the room, I turn around, I go at his ass again. So now I got to show this fool that I'm not scared of him. And then after I did that, so he on this side of the hallway, I'm in this side of the hallway, and part of the team is right here. And I'm still trying to get to his ass. And everybody was like, oh my God, you can hear everybody going crazy. And I walked back in there, and everybody looking at me like, that motherfucker is crazy for real. And Percy Snow never mess with me again after that, bro.
Leonard, were you surprised that Harvey went after him like that? Or I mean, because we know the story. Percy Snow was throwing grapes at Harvey Williams' face during team meetings, and Harvey Williams stood up and hauled off and knocked him out.
Right.
What was that? When you saw Harvey Williams retaliate to Percy Snow, what'd you think of that?
Well, I was like, good for him. I said, I could respect that. And that's the thing, because let me tell you about Percy. When Percy was a rookie, he didn't let anybody walk on him. He didn't bow down to the veterans or anything. He was hard-nosed. So to see him get what he had issued back to us, I was like, yes. Yeah. So now I said, he's getting a taste of his own medicine. I said, so I'm all for it. I said, that's good. So, yeah. So
you know what, man? A lot of people,
like I said,
people on the team was scared of Percy.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Marty was scared of Percy. Marty Schottenheimer was scared of
Percy had that demeanor, though.
Yes,
you didn't know what was going to set him off, if he was going to come in there with guns blasting or whatever. That's the type of attitude he had. So I could understand why some people fear Percy, because he was somewhat of a psychopath, but in a good way, But let me put this in quotes. In a good way, you want that as a teammate. Someone that's fearless, someone that's crazy, someone that's gonna go after you when he's upset. So and you have to direct that in a positive way, though.
Right.
And a lot of it for Percy was show, because he knew people thought he was crazy. So he kind of exploited a bit, playing into that mantra. So,
hey, but what he don't know, you see, I'm from the country and I'm crazy too. So, But you know what, man? After that fight, we became really good friends, and we became roommates. Marty put us together when we were on travel. We became roommates and we became really good friends, man. So, it was tragic what happened to him with that moped, because, I think, we didn't even get a chance to really see what that guy was capable of doing, because Percy Snow was a monster, bro.
Well, see, Percy and I had that kind of relationship as well. You know, that was my moped that he broke his foot on.
Oh,
you know, so
was it really?
yes. Say what?
Wow.
What'd you say, Harvey?
I didn't know that. That was gruesome. What happened?
Well, let me tell you what happened. Everybody had these big time mopeds. They had like mopeds that ran around $2,300–2,400.
Yep.
I bought one for $300, which was just bigger than a bicycle. It was like a bike with a motor on it.
Yep.
Anyway, I felt at the end of training camp, I'm gonna sell it and get my $300 back. I said, everybody that's buying these 3,200, 2,300 mopeds, they're gonna take a loss on theirs. So this one particular day, I pull up after practice out at the dormitory, and Tracy Simeon, they all was laughing. Everybody was sitting outside there. So here I come on this little bitty old bike, and Tracy Simeon said something funny, and everybody went to laughing. So he said, Ruth, let me ride that doggone little old bicycle. So I got off with the engine running. You know, well, when he got up, Percy hopped up and beat him to it. Well, Percy took off and he was flying, and he was jumping over little holes and all kind of stuff. And we all just sat down and everybody laughing how Percy was dogging my bike out. So, but he disappears for about 15 minutes. And all of a sudden I hear this la 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 la, a little slow pacing coming back. And I knew it was my bike. And I see him when he rounded the corner. And the first thing I did, I noticed he was holding his, I want to say his right foot away from the pedal. And his ankle was turned out. And I was like, oh my God. So I ran and caught him. Yeah. And I kind of held him and laid him down on the ground. And that's when everybody else kind of saw that, you know, he was seriously hurt. And someone ran up there and got Marty. And Marty came down and said, that's it. I want all of these mopeds off the camp.
Yeah,
so
they were,
all
the mopeds were gone within like 30 minutes, bro. They were out of there.
Yeah, they all were gone. So everybody had to sell them or had them shipped back to Kansas City. But you couldn't ride them on that campus anymore.
Did they give you guys any, did they teach you how? Like, was there a basic instruction guy come out there and say, here's how you ride a moped? Or was it just like, we can figure it out?
No,
I mean,
no, they had a dealership. You walk. They had a dealership. You walk in, paid that little money, and rode it off.
Yeah.
Or actually, they would deliver them to you.
With all those bikes, man. But man, you know, when I saw his ankle, I almost fainted. I physically got sick to see his ankle.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, his ankle was turned, like his foot was pointing back that way. Like,
right.
Yeah.
It was gross, you know, and that's the thing. And I mean, I got teary-eyed watching it. You know, it didn't make me sick, but at the same time, I got teary-eyed because I knew his season was over with before the season even started. Yeah, you know, and I was thinking maybe his career was over with because I mean, it was totally replaced. I mean, it was sitting to the side. Yeah. And like Harvey said, turned the other way. You know, so it was as gross as they come.
So people,
it was never the same.
Yeah, to get people caught up, Percy Snow was the Chiefs' #1 draft pick out of 1990, out of Michigan State, solid player, the future middle linebacker. And in 1991, he during training camp, he took Leonard Griffin's $300 moped, and after he wanted to get rid of it because everybody was laughing at Leonard, Percy Snow took it out and wrecked it. Sad story. But in between there, Harvey Williams had to stand up for himself when Percy Snow was giving him a rookie hazing. Little did he know, after Harvey Williams stood up to him and decked him and they got in a big brawl, he would get on Leonard Griffin's moped and wreck it and end his NFL career. Wow. All right.